Good morning, Borgia. Welcome back to Nightly News. My name is Emma Coleman. We have quite the broadcast for you today. Here's some of the things you'll see. There's a new nurse in town. Borgia Theater is putting on their production of Wizard of Oz. Learn about Borgia students' secret talents. We have all of this and so much more, and it all starts now. Borgia High School has a brand new nurse. Our team went to go get to know her. Check it out.
This is the new nurse at Borgia. We're going to ask her a few questions about being a nurse here. What made you want to work at Borgia?
I've always wanted to work with kids, and I've worked at Mercy Hospital, and I've done mostly older adults and no children or teenagers. So this is just a change as far as that goes. But so I just wanted to work with children.
How long have you been a nurse?
19 years.
How has your experience been at Borgia?
It's been good. I've learned a lot, and I think my students that have come to visit with me have learned a lot from me. So I think it's been going good.
What made you want to get into nursing?
I've always wanted to have like a hands-on approach to taking care of anything or anybody. So I didn't want to have to sit at a desk 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and do paperwork stuff. I wanted to have an impact on people's lives.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Borgia Theater has been working on their production of Wizard of Oz since the beginning of February. Follow the yellow brick road to see what happens behind the curtain.
Every year, the Borgia Theater Department hosts and performs a spring musical. This year, they've chosen The Wizard of Oz. With us today is Emily Engelman to talk about the musical.
When is the musical?
The musical is going to be April 7th through the 9th at 7 o'clock, so that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in around 2 weeks.
How can you buy tickets?
As long as you type in Borgia on stage into any search engine, then it will take you to our website. You can tap on a link and then you can buy tickets from there.
How can people participate in future productions?
Well, basically you can just listen to the announcements because usually the audition dates will be told over the announcements in the morning and the afternoons. Or you could ask any boss member or Mr. Buckeye about the details.
What does theater mean to you?
It means a whole lot. It's basically what I do with my time here at Borgia and also how I want to do my time outside of Borgia. I really love theater and just everything to do with it.
What is your role in the show?
I played Dorothy in Wizard of Oz.
And what is your favorite experience from the show so far?
So far, I'd say that my favorite experience is when we use a stuffed rabbit with fangs and red eyes instead of Toto before we actually got the dog for the Wizard of Oz.
The Stations of the Cross are very important to the Catholic faith. Let's find out a little bit more about them.
During Lent, many Christians reflect upon the Stations of the Cross, which is the 14 events that led Jesus to his own death. But exactly when were they created?
There's a long history, as with most things in the Catholic Church. There isn't, it was a 2,000-year history. The stations go all the way back to early pilgrims. People who heard about Jesus and said, gosh, I want to see the places that Jesus went, that he walked, that he died on. And so, from the very beginning, people would travel to Jerusalem to trace these places, to walk through them. And it's happened for years and years.
Today, the stations are different than they were many years ago. They were seen in public areas of towns, instead of being hung up in churches. Since churches have their own Stations of the Cross shown, how does each individual church portray them?
Normally there are 14 stations. There's sometimes an extra 15th, which is the resurrection, but 14 stations. It starts with Jesus being condemned before Pilate, goes through him receiving the cross, the people he meets along the way to the cross, the times he fell carrying the cross, being nailed on the cross, being stripped of his clothing before his crucifixion, him dying on the cross, and it ends with him being put in the tomb.
The Stations of the Cross is something during Lent to reflect upon for every Christian, and it will always be that way for a long time.
Do you have any fun Easter traditions? Well, these students and faculty members sure do. Check it out.
It's almost Easter, Borgia, so we asked some of you to share your experiences. We heard funny, sad, and lovely stories. So let's go.
Well, it was probably about 31 years ago, and a friend of mine had an elaborate Easter bunny costume. And I borrowed it and filled a basket full of the golden storybooks and candy, and decided to get up early Easter morning and go around to all of the homes in my neighborhood that had small children that still believed in the Easter bunny. Last home actually was our long-time mailman here at Borgia, and I rang the doorbell, and I looked up and it was a second-story house, and I could see 3 little faces looking out the window, and their mouths were moving a mile a minute, and nobody came to the door. So I rang the doorbell again and waited for a few minutes. Well, the door opened, and the dad looked at me and he goes, "Well, I'll be. You really are the Easter bunny."
I used to raise bunnies on our farm, and one spring I was raising them, and we were going to take a vacation that summer, and my grandma, who lived on the farm, was supposed to take care of my rabbits while I was gone. And so we went on vacation, and when I came back, it was our tradition that we always went down to Grandma and Grandpa's and had a meal after we came back from vacation. So our family came back, and we went for the meal. We had fried chicken, we had mashed potatoes and gravy, corn, all the fixings, all the good stuff. And after I ate, I went out to take care of my rabbits, to feed my rabbits. I hadn't seen them for a while. I really missed them. And when I ran out there to the pens, my rabbits were gone. All the little Easter bunnies were gone. And my grandma met me out there, and I said, "Grandma, where's my rabbits? You were supposed to take care of them." She goes, "They're in your belly."
Thanks for sharing your story, Mr. Strukoff. Next up, we have a family feud.
My grandma had 3 golden Easter eggs, and in the 3 golden Easter eggs, it was like $50 in each of them. 3 golden Easter eggs for 3 children, okay? And then my little brother literally stole it. He snatched the golden egg from me as I was running towards it and refused to give me the $50. And it made me cry, and that was the worst Easter of my entire life.
Now let's try something a little more lighthearted.
With my grandpa, he always wanted us to have a really fair and equal Easter when we were Easter egg hunting. And so with all of my cousins, there were some years that we would have to draw which color of egg we would have to hunt. And sometimes there were different sizes of eggs that we were allowed to find. So if you were younger, you had to find the smaller eggs. If you were older, you got to find the bigger eggs. With one year that everything was based on height. And so you were only allowed to find things that were like right at your height level. And so he always just tried to make everything really fair, but it ended up being very complicated and just really chaotic every single Easter. But it was out of love trying to make sure we all got our Easter eggs.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great Easter.
Are you interested in joining the police force or just learning about it? Then the Police Explorers program might be for you. Maddie Lambert has the story.
Have you ever wondered what a police officer actually does when they're at work? Officer Schmelz, who is in charge of the Police Explorers program in Washington, says anyone ages 14 to 21 who is interested in law enforcement can join the program.
Be cops, they just have to have an interest in learning about what we do, all the different aspects, whether it's being a police officer, corrections, conservation, federal law enforcement, you name it. We can show them kind of the ropes, bring people in and talk to them about that. It is run through the Boy Scouts. Every summer, or every other summer, we actually hold an academy, or a mini academy, with kids from the whole St. Louis region that are explorers. And Maddie actually went this past summer and had a really good time, but basically we do a lot of classroom with them, we do a lot of physical training with them, we kind of give them a taste of what the real police academy is like.
To join the Police Explorers program, contact Officer Schmelz or Maddie Lamert. Meetings are held every other Monday at 6:30 p.m. at the Washington Police Station.
While some students put their talents toward careers such as law enforcement, some students have more unique talents. Get to know some of your classmates and their secret talents.
I can make a face.
I can walk on my hands like this. I can breathe really well. I can wiggle my ears.
I'm good at geometry, Dad.
Okay, I'm going to say my ABCs backwards. There you go. Okay. Z, Y, X, and a W, V, U, T, S, and an R, Q, P. O, M, N, N, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, D, E, F.
Is that a good enough secret, Johnny?
Forrest walks into a restaurant. The waiter says, "Hey, ride the long face."
Calling all basketball fans. Do you know how March Madness ended? If not, you're in luck because we have the recap right here. Preston Lober has the story.
12 seed Richmond takes out 5 seed Iowa 67-63. Richmond outshot Iowa in the three-pointer and field goals, but they had one more turnover than them, and they didn't do as well as rebounding as they did.
New Mexico State was a better shooting team in this matchup. Even though they had more turnovers, it was still not enough for UConn to come back.
As Cole lets fly on maybe his last shot as a Husky, New Mexico State's nails a pair.
St. Peter's in Kentucky was a close match all the way until overtime, where St. Peter's shot better and made crucial free throws to win the game.
Neither of these teams are a good shooting team, but Auburn had more turnovers, and Miami just killed them all game. It was never really a close game.
The Iowa-Wisconsin game was one of the lowest scoring games, with the total score being 54-49. Iowa State shot better than Wisconsin did, and also had more rebounds and less turnovers.
North Carolina comes out on top on Baylor. They just out-rebounded them the whole game, shot better, and were just the better team. Baylor made a good try at the end, but it just wasn't enough.
Although Tennessee was up by 5, 37-32 at halftime, Michigan still fought back and had a much better three-point percentage than Tennessee did, although having more turnovers.
Arizona's effort was not enough to out-hustle Houston.
The Arkansas-Gonzaga game was close enough until the 10-minute mark in the second half, where Arkansas pulled away, shooting better and having more rebounds than Gonzaga. Duke goes down to North Carolina. They finished Coach K's season losing to the same team that his first loss was to. It was also Duke's first time playing North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. Duke missed crucial free throws at the end to maybe give him a chance to win the game.
That's it for us here at Nightly News. Thanks for tuning in, Borgia, and remember, it's a great day to be a knight.